It is time for New York Mets baseball. This afternoon, the Mets play host to the St. Louis Cardinals, and spring training on SNY is presented by CDW. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by Westbury Toyota. The buck stops at the Westbury Toyota Superstore, #1 in the tri-state area. By HSS, the official hospital of the New York Mets, and by Tri-State Cadillac dealers. Visit your Tri-State Cadillac dealer today. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Apple alongside Keith Hernandez. Good to see you, Keith. Gary Cohen's going to be back for opening day. So the Mets and the Cardinals getting set to face off for the 4th time this spring, and we're getting a chance to see Justin Verlander, the 40-year-old, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, take the mound for the 3rd time this spring, Keith.
Well, it's the 3rd time for him, and you got to realize that if Peterson threw 4 innings yesterday and McGill threw 4 innings 2 days ago, Verlander with his 3rd start probably going to try to get 5 innings in. They're starting to stretch the starting pitchers out. He mentioned in the offseason he was going to work on his changeup. His last start, which I saw, he only threw his changeup once. It's something to keep an eye on.
Well, Verlander so good last year. Again, the Cy Young Award, 18-4, $1.75 the ERA, looking to make his first season in a Mets uniform a memorable one. So what about the Cardinals? They're the defending Central Division champions, and I would think they're the favorites again.
Well, they are. They're probably in the weakest division in the National League in the Central. You see last year they got 2 of the best corner infielder tandem in Major League Baseball, and Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. Goldschmidt was running in September for a Triple Crown. He fell short. He won the MVP. Pujols, of course, had the big finish. They've lost Yadier Molina. They've lost Pujols, but they're going to be in the hunt this year. They're always in the hunt, the Cardinals.
93 wins for the Cardinals a season ago. Ollie Marmol, their manager for a 2nd consecutive year. So, Mets and the Cardinals on the way here on SNY. Brought to you by CDW. By your local Ford stores. For current offers, visit buyfordnow.com. And by Delta, the official airline of the New York Mets. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your visit to Citi Field. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and so much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today. We get a look at today's pitchers presented by Toyota. It is going to be Justin Verlander, the 40-year-old 3-time Cy Young Award winner, getting the start for the Mets. Once again, his 3rd start of the spring. TJ McFarland, the lefty, looking to find a spot in that bullpen. And Drew Smith will also pitch for the Mets today. So we're getting set to go here at Clover Park. There's a look at Justin Verlander on his way in. First pitch on the way. There's Buck Showalter getting set to begin his 2nd season as the manager of the Mets, running through some early signs there, Keith.
Buck's always a piece of work.
He is fantastic. 101 wins a season ago in his first year as the Mets manager. Nissan Cardinals starting lineup, and they have not brought a lot of regulars today.
They certainly have not. Yepes is noted there, and Carlson, of course, one of their starters in the outfield. And there's the star of the show tonight, Justin Verlander, coming off a Cy Young Award-winning year where he led the league in wins as well as earned run average, a sparkling 1.75 at the age of 39 after missing 2 years with Tommy John. Incredible, remarkable. And your forward store defense. The Mets outfield, well, there's Vientos. He played first yesterday. He's over back at his familiar position at 3rd. Mauricio at short. Ruff getting a lot of playing time at first base.
Here we go. Justin Verlander, first pitch, missing outside. Facing Mason Wynn, the 20-year-old for the St. Louis Cardinals. He's opened a lot of eyes in camp for St. Louis this spring. Fouls it away. Count evens at 1. Mason Wynn, the Cardinals' #2 prospect. He showed a lot of patience at the plate so far this spring. They are very high on him in the Cardinals organization.
So we're going to keep an eye on Verlander with his choice of pitches, what he likes to throw most. Right now, coming out of the chute, throwing 3 straight fastballs.
Justin Verlander, 17-year veteran. The current active leader in career wins with 244. Dozen seasons.
Yep.
200+ innings. He's the epitome of a horse, right?
Yes. I would have to agree with you. There's his first breaking ball and paint your wagon.
Took something off it.
Oh.
Wynn looks at a called third strike.
Well, that's a major league hook. Oh, that kind of breaking ball sent many guys out of their uniforms and back into the 9-to-5 line. That was nasty.
That brings up Dylan Carlson, the Cardinals center fielder.
Switch hitter.
He has showed some power from the left side this spring. He's changed his stance a little bit. He's put on a dozen pounds, muscle and bulk.
There is your first changeup by Verlander. And there's another one right there. As you can see, if you can look at the camera angle, folks, when he throws his changeup, you can see the four fingers where it's almost like, I want to say a palm ball, but it's not in his palm. There's another one, 3 straight. So out of the chute against a left-hander. And he mentioned his last start that it was an all right-hand hitting lineup, so he really couldn't work on his change. Well, he's got 3 left-handers in the lineup today.
Here's the 2-1 pitch. Hammered just foul down the first base line. Verlander's a big guy, 6'5", 235 pounds.
He is over.
There's Nito working on the pitch comm with Verlander. Bounce to second. Peraza boots it. And that's going to be an error on the second baseman.
That was just a little bit of laziness on Peraza there. And Peraza is a solid player, veteran infielder. You don't see him make that kind of play. Look at not getting in front of the ball, one-handed, off to the side. I mean, 3 of all the things you can do wrong in fielding a ground ball. And it's always something that it's always, when this happens, it's a routine ground ball. An easy one that you make 99 out of 100 times.
That brings up Juan Yepez. He could be the Cardinals' right-handed DH this year.
Hit the big home run in the playoffs last year in that Philly series.
He had a dozen homers last year. He hit that home run off Jose Alvarado in the playoffs. So there's the first throw over by Justin Verlander. And how have you been dealing with that? This is my first game of the spring, so do you keep track of the throws?
You have to pay attention because your tendency is, after all these years of playing and broadcasting, it's not something you're used to doing. And you have to pay attention, and the umpires do as well. You got the pitch clock out there, Garrett, in center field.
I see it. That's the one that we can see over the sign just to the left of straightaway center.
So I must say what I've seen so far from Verlander is he's very sharp with all 3 of his pitches. Or 4. He's got a slider, curve, changeup, fastball.
That 4-seam fastball, that has been his bread and butter over the years. Throws it about half the time. And down goes Juan Yepez. Second out of the inning.
This breaking ball slider just kind of stayed inside and tied him up.
So Justin Verlander strikes out 2 of the first 3 batters he's faced here in the top of the first. And Alec Burleson, the first baseman, steps in. Played 16 games with the Cardinals a season ago. Lifts one down the left field line and into the seats.
Well, you can see that Verlander throws over the top, and he's made adjustments in his career as he's advanced. He's that kind of intelligent, has that kind of intelligence. He was more 3/4 earlier in his career when he threw harder, and he's gradually worked to go over the top. There's 2. Is that 2 or just a 1?
That's 2.
Yep.
But one on this batter, yeah. So that's another thing. It's not just, it's for each batter.
Yes.
Right?
You got to reshuffle the deck. It's a new deck. Got to start counting the cards.
Taylor Motter is on deck. Would be next for the Cardinals. That's a strike.
And you can watch the windup here. Watch how he just comes right over, almost at 12 o'clock.
Popped up. Vientos, long run, but it's going to go back into the seats.
Wind blowing out towards right field. It's going to push all the fly balls to right. Every fly ball from center field over is going to be pushed to the right field line. And those are things that every outfielder should take notice, and every infielder before every game.
1-2 here to Burleson, and he stays alive. A little chilly down here in Port St. Lucie today, and I say that with an asterisk because compared to what's going on up north, different story, but 64 degrees at game time, and it's been in the 80s here quite a bit, so you feel the difference.
And it has been a very unseasonably hot spring.
There goes Carlson. Nito's throw is a good one, and he gets Carlson trying to steal second base. So a good first inning for Justin Verlander. Mets coming to bat. We can check right now the Mets starting lineup presented by your Tri-State Cadillac dealers, and a lot of the regulars who are here are in the lineup today. The starting outfield, Nimmo, Marte, and Canna bat 1, 2, and 3 in the lineup. Mark Vientos gets the start down at third base. He's batting 7th, and it's been a really good spring for Ronnie Mauricio, who's in there at shortstop.
And there's your starting pitcher for the Cardinals. Not a big guy, Connor Thomas, 5'11", 175, went to Georgia Tech. Last year in Triple-A, he had a 6-12 year with an ERA over 5, but he had a great winter league.
Brandon Nimmo to the second baseman Kramer Robertson, out number 1.
And the Cardinal defense, well, you go, folks. A lot of guys here, a lot of no names. Burleson, Robertson, Wynn they're high on, as Gary mentioned, at shortstop. Carlson and Kistner are 2 veterans. A lot of players, as we've noted, are in the WBC. They're gone.
Starling Marte in the lineup again. Don't forget he was hitting the helmet over the weekend, but he was back in the lineup yesterday and back in there again today. I think that the Mets felt like they dodged one when it came to Starling Marte.
Yes, they did, and hit him pretty good, but a slight angle, the ball was able to kind of carom off, excuse me. Oh, good pitch inside.
And he looks at a called third strike from Connor Thomas. Home plate umpire Jeremy Riggs on the call.
It's always a good pitch when the hitter is behind the count with 2 strikes. That inside corner fastball, the good hitters are protecting the plate. They're vulnerable in. Quality pitch right there from the youngster.
Mark Canna, first pitch swinging on the ground to shortstop. Mason Wynn, plenty of time. 1, 2, 3 inning for Connor Thomas. No score as we go to the second. Alec Burleson leads off here in the top of the second inning. He was up to bat in the first when Dylan Carlson was thrown out trying to steal second base. Verlander pours in a strike. Let's go downstairs right now. Michelle Margot standing by with Danny Mendick.
Yes, thanks so much, Gary. New York native Danny Mendick. Danny, you signed with the Mets this last offseason as a free agent. What has your experience been like so far in the Mets organization?
It's been awesome. I mean, this place is so great. I'm excited to be a part of it. The ownership and everything that goes into it. You can tell it's just a winning atmosphere, and that's why I play baseball. I love being here for that purpose.
Now, you tore your ACL back in 2022. This was really your first week back playing in games. How much are you thinking about that when you're running and playing the field?
You know what? A lot went into it this offseason. A lot of training, a lot of getting back into shape. And the training staff here has done such a good job that I really don't think about it at all. I go out there, play baseball, do what I got to do, and it's felt great.
That's good. So no hesitation. You're good.
No, yeah, I feel really good. Like I said, they've done a really good job here. So I've been just kind of progressing and how it's been going about it. They've been taking it cautiously and doing it properly so that, the goal is opening day, and it should be there.
So I hear you are quite the golf connoisseur. Have you played with Jeff McNeil yet, who's also a golf connoisseur?
Oh, yeah. Have to. He's a great golfer.
How many times?
Oh, man, probably 3 or 4. 4 now? Yeah, before he left.
Who's better?
Him. But I'm going to get him.
And have you met anybody special? Because I hear you have while playing with Jeff McNeil.
Yes, we met Jack Nicklaus.
How did that go?
It was unbelievable. So we went over to the Bears Club. One of the, how do I say this? One of the endorsers, I guess you could say, of the team that we know brought us over there. He's a member, and we got to meet Jack. We saw him from a distance, and we both got very big-eyed, and we were like, oh my gosh, can we go meet this guy? And then we went and met him, and we talked to him for a little bit, and it was so surreal. It was awesome.
It's a very good experience. I'm going to toss it back up to Gary here for an update on what's going on with Justin Verlander.
All right, Michelle and Danny, we thank you both. So while you guys were speaking, Justin Verlander took a line drive off the leg, but he is going to stay in the game here. Motter into center field, and that's Brandon Nimmo with the diving catch. Good play by Brandon.
Well, what was concerning to me, that got him on the back, almost like it got him on the Achilles tendon back there, just above the back of his foot. Or maybe the ankle, the inside part of the ankle.
It looked like it hit one leg and then ricocheted off to the other.
Well, the initial blow was the one that hurt.
Yes.
That hit the bone. And what was concerning was that, Verlander, if he was okay, he would have told the trainer to stay in. But there's a bit of a concern there. You always hold your breath.
Well, considering that Jose Quintana is out until at least the beginning of July, maybe longer. And certainly the Mets have dealt with some injuries here in camp to the bullpen as well. And here's your guy, 2 years, over $86 million. Big free agent signing this offseason, facing Moises Gomez, who hit 39 home runs season ago between Double and Triple A for the Cardinals.
That's a lot of home runs in the minor league season.
Yes, it is.
Any season, for that matter. Any classification.
2-2 count coming to Gomez. Fouls it straight back. Justin Verlander, the active leader in career wins with 244. And I asked him about trying to get to 300. I said, something you think about? He says, well, I think about it when somebody asks me about it. Aside from that, I just take the baseball and go out and pitch. And there he is, dials it up. Third strikeout of the afternoon for Justin Verlander. Darren Ruff leading off here in the bottom of the second against Connor Thomas. Thomas needed just 7 pitches to get through the top of the first inning, which lasted, the bottom of the first inning, I should say, which lasted just 1 minute and 52 seconds.
I think we're going to see a lot of that this coming year. Darren Ruff up, left-hander. It's obvious that Ruff is going to be the platoon.
On the ground, a shortstop. Win the first out.
Number 28, designated hitter, Tommy Pham.
That brings up Tommy Pham. He has struggled a little bit offensively so far this spring, hitting just $143. The former Cardinal. First pitch swinging, and there's Win again, down to a knee. 2 down. So be it Citi Field for opening day and the biggest games in 2023 with a Mets season membership. Get yours at Mets.com/memberships. So Connor Thomas working quickly as is the prerequisite this year for pitchers. Tomas Nido. It's been a good spring for Nido so far, hitting .375. He's got a couple of home runs. He's driven in 4 runs. And again, right to win. In your scorecard, that's 3 consecutive 6-3s, make it 4 going back to last inning.
He just tied a major league record.
Well, the good news is Justin Verlander is back on the mound here at top of the 3rd inning. Don't forget he was hit by that line drive off the bat of Alec Burleson in the 2nd. They came, checked on him. He went back into the clubhouse between innings, but he's back out there and appears to be fine. He faces the bottom 3rd of this Cardinals lineup: Kisner, Robertson, and Victor Scott.
Yeah, he did. Good call, sir.
Oh, called strike.
Kisner went around. 28 years old. Young man out of NC State. He's not hitting this spring, and that's an issue for the Cardinals. They went out and got Contreras as their frontline catcher. He was their big offseason signing.
Now that was Wilson Contreras.
Correct.
Right.
Not to be confused with his brother William.
Correct.
But Kisner, they've been hoping can be the backup, but he just has not hit for them. And so that's still an area that they're looking to shore up.
I'm telling you, Verlander looks mid-season form so far.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Wow. Swung on and missed. 4 strikeouts so far for Justin Verlander through the opening 7 batters.
Got him reaching. Little cutter. Verlander knows how to pitch upstairs too with his fastball, so he can go up and down the ladder. There's just overhand curve.
3,198 career punchouts for Justin Verlander. One of 19 pitchers all time to get to 3,000 strikeouts. What a season he had last year with the Astros. Cy Young Award, World Series championship, and he dials it up, and down goes Kramer Robertson.
I believe that was a changeup right there. No, that was just a slider that stayed in, a cutter.
We've seen a lot of off-speed stuff so far today from Justin Verlander, facing Victor Scott now.
Good sharp curve. Wow, this is an impressive outing. Just on stuff and location. Sharpness of his breaking ball is there.
Boy, he is dialed in, is Verlander. Last time out against the Astros, he went 3 1/3, 3 hits and a run. So as you were saying earlier, Keith, in the open, pretty good chance we'll see 5 innings, or at least into the 4th inning for Justin Verlander today.
Well, he's got that's his 41st pitch.
He's ahead of Scott, 0-2. Looking for his 4th consecutive strikeout. I'm always interested to see these matchups. Scott is a guy who played at Single A last year, so he's out there facing future Hall of Famer in Justin Verlander. I would imagine that's a daunting experience.
Verlander working very fast, and that clock with no one on, boy, it's down to 6 seconds.
Well, there it is. 4th consecutive strikeout for Justin Verlander, who looks like he's in midseason form. Mark Vientos leads it off for the Mets in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Vientos having a very good spring. He is tied for 13th in the majors with 9 RBIs so far this spring.
2 straight changeups to Vientos. And of course, with the entire starting infield of the Mets at the WBC.
To second, that's Robertson, bobbles it once, twice, stays with it, and he gets Vientos. Interesting on.
Stays in front of it. Look at the bat hop right
Yep.
there. And you kids out there, you stay in front of that ball, you're able to keep it in front of you, as opposed to what, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but Peraza did just the opposite. When he fielded it off to the side, if you stay in front, that's what happens.
Ronnie Mauricio up for the first time. He's had a good spring. He's shown some power. It's amazing when you look at Mauricio, who bounces one up the middle. And that's a base hit for Ronnie Mauricio. Boy, he's just so much bigger. He has really filled out over the years.
I've noticed that. He was a skinny kid.
Yes.
But he's much stronger now. And there's the old Baltimore chop up the middle.
Mauricio has shown great power. Those 4 home runs, a couple of them have gone 450 feet as Jose Peraza, the aforementioned Jose Peraza, steps in. Peraza's second go-round with the Mets.
Well, everybody came to the park today in sweaters and jackets, that's for sure.
That to the right side. Robertson gets there, and then a wild throw, and everybody's safe.
I'm going to score that a base hit, I think. That's a... Yep.
That is a base hit. And listen, there are no extreme shifts anymore, but look where Robertson was playing up the middle. He had a long way to run. So the Mets have first and second with 1 out. Back to the top of the lineup, and Brandon Nimmo, who grounded out his first at bat, drops one into center field, but right there to make the catch is Dylan Carlson, and the base runners must retreat.
Number 6, right fielder, Starling Marte.
Starling Marte struck out his first at bat in the first inning. Connor Thomas needed just 1 minute and 52 seconds to get through the first inning and 1 minute and 38 seconds to get through the second inning.
You got a stopwatch?
Those are unheard of numbers.
How about Verlander? Verlander's just been cruising through the first 3.
Mauricio on second, Peraza on first with 2 outs, and we see the pitch clock. So it's 20 seconds when base runners are on, 15 seconds when nobody's on base.
You know, it's kind of one thing I've noticed here in the games that I've done, and this is going to be my last game. I've done 7.
Should I take that personally? I come
No,
leave?
no. I made sure I told SNY I wanted to do a game with you.
Thank you, Keith. That's very kind. Not sure I buy it, but I thank you for that.
But I feel, you know, what's your feeling, Gary? The 15 seconds with no runner on. Do you feel that's too quick? Could it be 20 seconds a constant?
Well, that's the question. I love the fact that the game is moving quicker. I love the pace of the game. Maybe you do 20 seconds. It makes it a little bit easier for everybody to understand. Down to third, Motter throws across the diamond, gets the out. We'll continue the conversation when we come back. Still no score. Justin Verlander has struck out 6 of the 9 batters he's faced so far, and he dials it up. Strike 1 on Mason Wynn, who was one of his strikeout victims to lead off the game.
Second time through the order.
Took something off that one.
He's just got his curve working. He's got his slider working. His fastball, he's moving in and out. He's got the changeup going on. Impressive outing thus far.
He's ahead on Wynn 0-2, and that one misses up high.
You know, there's a reason why he's got over 240 wins, Gary.
He's one of the best to have ever done it. And I think he's relishing this opportunity to come and pitch on the big stage in New York. And there goes another as Wynn goes down swinging. That is the 5th consecutive strikeout now for Justin Verlander.
Right by him.
Dylan Carlson reached on an error by Peraza in the first inning. You know, I asked Buck Showalter earlier today if there's anything, you know, we've all seen Justin Verlander over the years and the accomplishments. Is there anything about Verlander that has surprised you that you maybe weren't expecting? And he said, you know, he's really just ingratiated himself to his teammates. He is involved. You know, Buck likes to do a lot of team bonding things during the spring, and that one is hit in the air. Mauricio calls for it. And that's the second out. But he said he took part, did Verlander, in the talent show along with Max Scherzer. The veterans, they're involved. They're leading by example.
Well, there's more that you can bring to the table than just what you do on the field, your performance. You can add so much and be such a more positive influence. The veterans you're going to be looked up to. They're going to, everybody's, the young kids are looking at you, watching how you dress, put your uniform on, how you go about your work. And it's just, it means a lot when you have a veteran come up and socialize, talk to you, and be engaged. And, you know, I've played with some veterans that just were distant, and that was just their personality. But I'm just thrilled that Scherzer, we know Scherzer's that kind of guy.
On the ground, Mauricio at shortstop. Got a big, strong arm. 1-2-3 for Justin Verlander. Man, he has been really good.
I can't get away.
Mark Canha leads things off for the Mets here in the bottom of the 4th inning. We've got no score between the Mets and the Cardinals. We're at Clover Park here in Port St. Lucie, Florida. Gary Apple, Keith Hernandez along with you this afternoon. Hope you're enjoying Mets baseball here on SNY.
Canha note that he is in the box. He got called for a strike for not being ready to hit with 8 seconds remaining yesterday. And he is in the box. He's a guy that likes, very methodical, but he's a veteran. He's not going to bother him. You look at how he's getting ready to hit.
Connor Thomas has been really good for the Cardinals so far as Canha takes ball 3.
I think Canha's going to get hit less too this year because I think a lot of times they hit him on purpose. And that's just my opinion because he took so much time out of the box in between pitches. And I think you're going to see he's not going to get hit so much this year.
Down to third. Motter backs up, fires across, out number 1. You know, when you go back to talking about Canha getting hit so much last year, and he got hit like in the inter-squad game here, you know, pitchers get into a rhythm, I think, more now, which may keep them from being as wild. Certain guys, when they're wild, they get into a rhythm. It may make a difference.
I think that the players are going to find out with the clock and the game moving at a much rapid pace that they're going to wind up loving it. I think pitchers are going to discover, hey, I can get my rhythm here and get into a flow.
Darren Ruff breaks his bat, pops it up to Robertson for the second out.
And another thing too, Gary, is the everyday player. You know, the worst kind of game is a game where you got a bunch of pitchers that are 3-2. It's a 3.5-hour game, which was the norm before. And you're out there, everyday player standing. And now you're going to have games that are 2.5 hours, like when I played. And you're not going to be on your feet so much. And I think the everyday players are going to come to realize, hey, I'm a lot stronger in August and September.
I think that's going to be a big deal. The fact that you are not out there. Think about those, you know, 100-degree days in St. Louis, doubleheader against the Cardinals on that old turf, right? When it was so hot, you're just dragging out there. Long 7-hour day. This, I agree with you, Keith. I think players will be fresher feel better as it's a long season.
Yes, it is. And I think it's going to keep the booth stronger, too. You know, it's tough talking an extra hour.
Understand. You'll get home earlier. I'll get home earlier.
It's tough on the jaws.
You can fill the time. You're highly entertaining. We know that. It's 1-2 here on Tommy Pham. 2 down in the 4th inning, and Pham goes down swinging. So another solid inning for Connor Thomas. Still no score. So the Mets bench coach Eric Chavez joins the show. Go to talk Brett Beatty and his progress at third base in the latest episode of the Mets Pod. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts. So we go to the top of the 5th inning here at Clover Park, and we've been playing baseball for 46 minutes this afternoon.
Remarkable.
Incredible.
It's a nice and quick pace. The first pitch was at 109, and now the first pitch in this inning, top of the 5th, 156.
That's Burleson hitting it sharply to the gap in right center field. That's going to drop in and go all the way to the wall. Marte retrieves, and Burleson into second with a stand-up double. That is the first hit today that Justin Verlander has surrendered.
Breaking ball down and in to over the middle of the plate. Nice hitting by Burleson.
Burleson,
yes.
Taylor Motter, third baseman, lined out to center field in his first at bat. So again, it's 15 seconds the pitcher has between when nobody's on base. Now 20 seconds with a runner on. And I do want to go back. We were speaking about that a short time ago, Keith. Should it be universally 20 seconds? Would that make it?
We got a very good pitcher's duel right now. You know, there was back in the day with Randy Jones when he would throw a gem and he was matched by another pitcher in a 1-0 game. And it was a rarity if you have a game under 2 hours, but they happened.
Motter takes a called strike. Motter's 33 years old. He's played in 161 major league games and 899 minor league games. So there it is, 15 seconds with the bases empty, 20 seconds with runners on, and then 30 seconds between batters. And batters must be in the box and alert to the pitcher with 8 seconds on the clock. That one is hit into the air, into center field. In comes Brandon Nimmo, settles, makes the catch. First out. So you hear that word, load management, and really taking care of your body. That's something that Brandon Nimmo is very aware of, having played over 150 games last year for the first time in his career. So he's gotten into games here in the spring a little bit later. Feels that's going to help him as the season goes along. Moises Gomez, first pitch swinging, fouls it away. Justin Verlander with 7 strikeouts so far here on the afternoon. We've seen the repertoire, the fastball, the slider, the curve, and the changeup, and he's talked about trying to work on that changeup a little bit here in the spring.
He's been throwing it to the right-handers, but really working on it against the 3 left-hand hitters in the lineup. There's a disengagement right there for Verlander, stepped off the mound.
So 2 disengagements during each at bat. 0-2 pitch. Two weeks from tomorrow, the Mets open the regular season against the Marlins, a couple of hours south of here, down at Lone Depot Park in Miami. Ooh. Did he go? He did not.
He did not. I thought it was a strike.
As I mentioned, Jeremy Riggs, our home plate umpire, Lance Barksdale, Ryan Addington, Reed Basner are umpires on the bases today.
Buck's got to be liking what he's seeing, as well as Jeremy Hefner.
Just reaching out is Gomez, and Peraza on the outfield grass for the second out.
Number 7, catcher, Nathan Fisker.
There are not all that many position battles here in camp. We heard Michelle with Danny Mendick a short time ago. He's somebody who could see some time here with the Mets this year. And Tim LeCastro is also somebody who's pushing for a spot on the opening day roster.
Verlander's saying, is that a ball out? Is it up? Umpire said it was outside.
I would think this could be it for Justin Verlander. Dials that one up to 95.
I can tell from the center field camera, folks, the elevation, whether it's knee high or letter high strike. But with that little bit of the off angle, you don't have the direct shot for the corners.
Well, this is going to be the 69th pitch on the afternoon for Justin Verlander. And Kisner lays off it, and the count evens at 2-2.
Well, that was close. That's a tough one to take with 2 strikes.
Kisner struck out swinging in his first at bat. Holds again, and the count goes full. Hits have been tough to come by today. The Cardinals have just one. The Mets have 2 so far. 3-2 pitch.
Strike 3.
And that is a called third strike. Justin Verlander, money. We go to the bottom of the 5th. No score. Well, Justin Verlander, his afternoon is finished in Mankeith. He was mid-season form today.
71 pitches, 51 strikes, mid-season form. And not just the result. The 5 innings of 1-hit ball, no walks, 8 strikeouts. It's the quality of the pitches and the location. Really just mid-season form.
It was fun to watch. Those 8 punch-outs and no walks for Verlander. Drew Verhagen is the new pitcher here for the Cardinals, replacing Connor Thomas, who is pretty good in his own right. Nito sends one deep to right field. Back goes Gomez to the track and to the wall, and that one
did he make the catch?
I don't believe he made it. That one is gone. That is a home run for Tomas Nito. That is his 3rd home run of the spring. It has been a very good spring here for Tomas Nito, and it continues right there.
Breaking ball went the other way, hit it good. And with the wind blowing out to right, gave it a little aid, a little help.
So first run of the game, courtesy of Tomas Nito's home run. He began the day hitting .375. So again, it's been a good spring for Tomas Nito as Gomez went back to the wall there, made a pretty good effort at it and just over his glove. Mark Vientos grounded to second, his first at bat.
Verhagen signed a 2-year deal with the Cardinals, so they're high on him. He pitched the last 2 seasons in Japan.
Verhagen, originally taken by the Tigers in the 4th round of the 2012 first-year player draft. Only 2 organizations for him, Tigers and the Cardinals. But he battled injuries last year. He had a hip and a shoulder that caused him to miss 110 games. On the ground, there's Wynn at shortstop. He's been busy this afternoon. That's the first out.
Yeah, he's been looking very, very sharp in the field. He's made all the plays. Good fundamentals.
Ronnie Mauricio, one of the Mets' 3 hits on the day. He singled to lead things off in the third. So what do you do, Keith? What do you think about Mauricio? We know that Francisco Lindor is going to be a shortstop for many years for the Mets. What do you do with Mauricio?
Do you try to find a new position for him? Is he suited for third base? But then you got Beatty and Vientos. You throw him in the outfield. He's got a great arm. He showed a terrific arm the other day, and a ball way deep in the hole at shortstop in the outfield, and just threw a bullet across the field. You're going to find a spot for a guy like this. I mean, the Mets are rich in young talent, and they've really, with the WBC, we've been able to watch them more than we normally would have.
Bounces one to the right side. There's a good diving stop by Burleson. Gets up. Drew Verhagen getting over to the bag to get the out. That's the second out.
Number 81, second baseman, Jose Peraza.
Nice play. Might have been better to give him an overhand toss, but nonetheless, they got it done.
Well, we saw Verhagen reaching back with his right foot. I wonder, is the bigger bag going to help pitchers as they get over on plays like that?
That's an interesting point right there. I never thought of that.
Peraza dumps a single in front of Gomez in right field.
I mean, from a first baseman's point of view with the bigger bag, it's not that much bigger. It's an easy adjustment. But it is a game in inches here. It looks like the bag is not, the facing of it is lower. It's not as high.
You're talking about the crown?
Yeah, is that what it? No,
yeah.
Not the crown. The sides.
The sides.
I remember the sides being a lot of, maybe twice the elevation, the height.
Well, the whole idea behind the bigger bags is to cut down on injuries. Top of the lineup for the Mets, Brandon Nimmo, 0 for 2 on the day. Still looking for his first hit this spring.
You know, one thing about the old cleats, and that's when you had the metal cleats. Those metal cleats, they dug into the bag. You weren't going to slip. I mean, occasionally you would. If you had an old pair of shoes on and you didn't realize that the metal would eventually wear down, I'd go through 2-3 pair of shoes a season. That's when you can slide off the bag on a wet day. But with if you have a good pair of cleats on, they dug into the base.
A lot of the guys now wear the rubber cleats. That's
right,
what
the
you're
rubber, and that's
alluding to.
That is a problem. So they got that hard rubber now as opposed to the metal. Now I can tell you on a hot day in St. Louis, and that ends the inning.
Down goes Brandon Nimmo on the strikeout, but the Mets get the first run. Tomas Nido going yard, 1-0. We get a look right now, the Mets' upcoming schedule. That is presented by Delta. The Mets back in action once again tomorrow on the road against the Washington Nationals. And then we're back here on SNY on Friday as the Mets are going to take on the Miami Marlins, whom they open the regular season against 2 weeks from tomorrow. Well, it's not exactly a warm beach day today, but
no,
the surfers get out there no matter what the weather is. They're not opposed to the cold. The new pitcher for the Mets is Justin Courtney. Facing the bottom here of the Cardinals lineup, Kramer Robertson leads it off. Robertson, by the way, is the son of Kim Mulkey, who was the head women's basketball coach at LSU. She was a star player, 84 gold medal team for the U.S. in the Olympics. And she's got her LSU Tigers in the NCAA tournament. Former great coach at Baylor with Brittany Griner. He was a fourth-round pick of the Cardinals back in 2017 out of LSU. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Courtney. Bounce to the right side. That's going to go foul. So the Mets have made some changes. Brett Beatty is in there at third base now.
So the first 5 innings of this game went in 1 hour and 3 minutes.
That makes you happy.
1-0 game, well-pitched game. No walks. Only one mistake. It was 1 error in the ball game. So usually these 1-0 games were 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Justin Verlander, who got the start for the Mets, was absolutely terrific. 5 innings, a hit, no runs. That one is sent into right field. Robertson around first, on his way to second. He's got a double to lead things off here for the Cardinals in the 6th inning.
Hit it right where it was pitched. That was a knee-high outside corner. Went right down the line with it. Gritting his teeth.
So the Cardinals have their leadoff batter on. That brings up Victor Scott, who struck out in his only at bat this afternoon. Mets also made changes in the outfield. Cedrola is now in center, Davis in right, and Michael Perez is doing the catching. He replaces Tomas Nido, who has supplied the only run of the game so far. His home run, his third of the spring, gave the Mets a 1-0 lead. Scott, we'll see if Beatty has room in foul ground, and he does for the first out. Boy, it's been a great spring so far for Brett Beatty. He swung a very hot bat. The question about Beatty has been his defense. Has made a few errors down here, but boy, we saw him make a really nice play in the game yesterday, ranging to his left. And he has shown that he does have some pretty good range.
He has good range. I haven't seen anything to his right so far this spring, but he's made some nice plays going to his left, showing, like you said, Garrett, some really good range to his left.
Back to the top of the lineup for the Cardinals, Mason Wynn with the tying run down at second. You know, I think back to when Pete Alonso, forced his way onto the lineup to begin his major league career. And at the time, Brodie Van Wagenen said, we're going to bring our best players north. And they decided to bring Alonso north. And of course, he had that record-setting rookie season. Beatty, in theory, could be one of the 26 best on this team. But with Escobar ensconced at third at the moment, it's going to be hard for Beatty to come north with the Mets this season.
All 4 of them, and that would be Alvarez, Vientos, Beatty, and Mauricio, have had they didn't have a full season in AAA.
Right.
So they're young. They need to play every day, and I think it's not going to hurt them. I think it's going to help them to get a year in AAA.
Mason Wynn out to right field. That chases Davis over towards the line, but it goes foul. And don't forget, Luis Guillorme is going to spend some time at all the infield positions. So he'll take some time over at third base as well.
Well, Guillorme is their utility infielder par excellence. He is just got a fine glove.
By the way, he was not too happy yesterday in that game against the Nationals. He didn't feel he was ready in the box to be pitched to, and he was pitched to and grounded out, and he let his displeasure be known in that game.
To the pitcher was Cavalli and the youngster. And really, you know, you can't blame Cavalli if he can game him like that.
Justin Courtney dials it up, and he gets the strikeout on Mason Wynn. Third time today, Wynn has gone down swinging.
Well, here it is, Gary, right here. Watch, he's already set with the pitcher. He's already set. Guillorme got in, and he was waiting, I think, for him to go into his stretch, and as he came back, he was wolfing him as he went down the line.
Big time.
Yep. But that's a lesson learned, and that's the new rules, and it's a hitter. I mean, Guillorme is the veteran. That was a rookie right there, and that shouldn't happen. So, lesson learned, it won't happen again. You get in the box, you got to be ready to hit.
So it's in the box and attentive.
Yes.
At 8 seconds. 2 outs here, top of the 6th inning. Dylan Carlson laces one into right field. That's going to tie the game. Round third, scoring is Kramer Robertson, so that's a double for Dylan Carlson, and the Cardinals have tied up the Mets at 1-1.
Left-hand hitters, you throw them down and in, or down and out over the plate. That's their happy area. Well, most hitters are that way now. They're all low ball hitters. Most of them, even the right-handers.
Well, Justin Courtney, a native of Bangor, Maine, went to college at Maine. First pitch swinging is Yepes. Driving back Cedrola. That's over his head up against the wall. That's going to knock in Carlson. A stand-up double for Juan Yepes. Third double of the inning here for the Cardinals as they take the lead 2-1.
First ball, fastball, heading another ball down in the strike zone. Out over the plate.
That brings up Alec Burleson, who doubled in his last at bat in the 5th inning. Pops it up. Beatty coming over. That's going to stay in play. So that's 2 that Beatty caught in foul ground here in the inning. But the Cardinals get 2 and they take a 2-1 lead. It is time right now for us to check in around the majors. That is presented by CDW. And this is not great news for the Dodgers because Freddie Freeman left Team Canada's game versus Colombia yesterday with a hamstring injury, not expected to play tonight against Team Mexico. And so that's, you know, one of the things, Keith, when you look at the WBC, that's always the big fear for every player and every team. Wilking Rodriguez is the new pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. So the rain is falling here in Port St. Lucie. Look at the grounds crew, and you need a good rain slicker. Some of the fans taking cover. Look at what Rodriguez did in the Mexican League last season.
He had a nice year. A lot of strikeouts. Big motion.
So Brett Beatty, his first at bat of the afternoon here for the Mets. He came in as a defensive replacement. Beatty is 4th in the majors amongst qualifiers in on-base percentage this spring at .471, 6th amongst qualifiers in average at .379. And he works out a walk. Came in sporting a .988 OPS so far this spring. So offensively, it's been really good so far for Brett Beatty. That brings up Mark Canha. He's grounded out in each of his first 2 at-bats. Takes one inside.
Rodriguez having a hard time finding the plate here. He's got the big motion.
Rodriguez taken by the Cardinals in the 2022 Rule 5 draft from the Yankees. He was the oldest player selected in the draft, 32 years old. He just turned 33 on March the 2nd. He can bring it. It's got a fastball that can hit triple digits.
Is that Fredbird on their hat? It sure is.
Fredbird the Redbird.
Oh my gosh. Whose idea was that?
Canha fouls one straight back. Remember a few years ago the Mets had Mr. Met on their hat here in the spring?
Yes, I remember that. Oh wow, can't say I like that.
I was going to say, are you disapproving?
I am very disapproving. But I'm not going to lose any sleep over it, though.
I wouldn't. Nope. One of the things about the Cardinals, I mean, one of the legendary classic franchises in all of baseball. Front of the jersey's incredible. They've made that a little bit bigger over the years, but the hat, right? One of the classic hats.
Yes.
Why mess with that hat? Here's 3-1 pitch coming to Canha, with Beatty leading off first, and he fouls it away at the plate. Count goes full. I asked Canha this week, what did they call you over the course of your career? And he said when he was in Oakland, one of the broadcasters there called him duct tape because he could fix a myriad of issues. You put a little Canha over a problem, he fixes it. He can play left field. He can play center field. He's played some first base this spring. And he's not opposed to seeing some time at first base this year. Beatty leads off first. Count full here to Canha in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cardinals lead the Mets 2-1. That was skied out into center field. Back and making the play is Carlson, and that's the first out, and Beatty has to retreat back to first.
Number 33, first baseman Darren Ruff.
So we know about Darren Ruff and his trials and tribulations when he came over at the trading deadline last year and struggled against left-handed pitching, which is something he has feasted on over the course of his career. And he's had injury issues to deal with this spring. He's had arthritis in his wrist. He's gotten a shot there, and Ruff trying to solidify himself as the DH from the right side and then pair with Vogelback from the left side. Takes a strike on the inside from Rodriguez. Well, didn't exactly burn it up with the Giants, and then when he came to the Mets, hit just $152, and the OPS at .413 was tough. He's behind 0-2 in the count here. Stays alive. So I know one of the things, Keith, that Buck likes to do is really look at a player's career and what they've done over the course of their career and go with the back of the baseball card. But how much stock do you put into the spring for a guy like Ruff, who goes down on strikes, the high fastball?
Well, when you get older, and there's always the doubt, has he reached that point in his career where maybe he's lost a little bit of his reflex? And there is a little, you're up there, you're not getting results, and you want to have a good spring. And Ruff, obviously everybody wants to have a good spring. But he's got a body of work. He's made a career out of hitting left-handers, and that's why he is getting the look here. Mets have enough left-hand hitters. They need a right-handed bat.
Well, Tommy Pham 0 for 2 on the day, struck out in his last at bat in the 4th inning. One of the things Pham has struggled with over the course of his career, he's got, eye problems and trying to deal with getting the right contacts. And he said that's part of the reason that he has struggled a little bit this spring, trying to get that under control. I said, is there a common theme every spring? He said, yes, I have to, manage it differently every spring, and he's waiting for the right contacts this spring. So something he's dealt with over the course of his career. Rodriguez behind 3-0 here to Pham in the 6th. That one misses outside. The Mets have 2 now on base with 2 outs as Beatty trots to second and Pham to first.
Number 88, right fielder Jalen Davis.
That is the second walk of the day by Cardinal pitchers, both of them coming here by Rodriguez in the 6th. Possibly a pitching change. They're going to have a visit.
Marmol, the manager of the Cardinals, is one of those guys that keeps that walk to the mound in first gear. Actually, excuse me, I'm standing corrected. That's the pitching coach.
Dusty Blake, the new pitching coach who took over for Maddox. They've got new pitching coach, new hitting coach in St. Louis this year.
Right. Dusty Blake.
And Ollie Marmol, his 2nd year managing the Cardinals. Jalen Davis is the batter for the Mets. Marmol, by the way, was a minor league teammate of Tommy Pham, so they know each other quite well. Jalen Davis takes one down for ball 1. Beatty leads off second. Tommy Pham off first. And Rodriguez having trouble finding the strike zone.
Just a little bit.
That one he pours in. Fastball at 95. Rodriguez made his major league debut for the Cardinals. I should say for the Royals back in 2014. Made his major league debut against the Cardinals at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. The rain seems to have let up here at Clover Park. Swing and a miss, and the count goes full.
Can he throw back-to-back strikes?
Here's 3-2 pitch now from Rodriguez to Davis, who goes down swinging, and so the Cardinals work themselves into trouble, and then Rodriguez out of trouble. It's still 2-1. We go top of the 7th here at Clover Park. The Cardinals leading the Mets 2-1. The Mets only run of the game supplied by Tomas Nido's home run in the 5th inning, and he's standing by downstairs with Michelle Margot. Michelle.
Yes, he is. Thanks so much, Gary. Tomas, another opposite field home run for you. How's spring training treating you so far?
It's been good so far. I've had a good time.
What have you been working on?
Just the approach and cleaning up the swing a little bit, working with Jeremy Barnes the whole off season, and taking it one day at a time, and just take it one step at a time and simplify things.
You said you've been cleaning up your swing. How specifically have you been doing that?
Just you know, my stance and kind of where I put my hands, be a little more cleaner and less movement, so helps me see the ball better and make better decisions.
You caught Justin Verlander today. What has impressed you the most about catching him?
The preparation, you know, the homework he does, and just the way he goes about his business. You know, you realize why he's been so successful, and you know, it makes it a lot more fun for me to be back there and just call a game.
Now, at what point in spring training do you feel fully comfortable with the various pitchers and the new guys?
I think we're getting there. You know, one more start will be ready to roll. But, you know, these guys have done it such a long time that, you know, it's like riding a bicycle. You just kind of get the hang of it and get the ball rolling, and it'll be easy to go.
What's the telltale sign for you to where you feel confident and you feel comfortable with everybody's arsenals?
You know, as long as I catch them a few times, bullpen and maybe once or twice in the game, that's fine with me. And then I'll do my homework, and the preparation will help me feel more comfortable when I'm back there calling a game.
Pretty quick learner. Last season, you played the most games that you ever had in your career. What specifically did you learn from your time last year?
Just that it's a long season, and you don't win the season the first month of the season. You know, it's take it one game at a time, and then pace yourself to be ready for that second half and finish strong.
All right, Tomas, thank you so much for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Gary.
All right, Michelle, Tomas, we thank you both. That's an infield single right there for Moises Gomez. Ronnie Mauricio ranging up the middle, but the off-balance throw not in time. Nolan Clenny is the new pitcher for the Mets. 26 years old. Spent last season down at Single A. Pride of Northville, Michigan. Andrew Kisner struck out both of his at-bats today. As I mentioned earlier in the game, North Carolina State alum. If I'm not mistaken, our esteemed director, John DeMarsico, is a North Carolina State man.
Wolfpack.
Yes. Go Pack, as he just said to me, in the tournament, in the NCAA tournament, which is underway. Those first 4 games are going. Are you a huge fan of the NCAA tournament? Where are you on that event?
I have kind of faded away with that. I haven't really, I kind of wait till the Sweet 16.
You don't find those opening round games on Thursday and Friday? I think those are 2 of the best days in sports.
I agree. I just
right? The upsets, the 2-15s, the 3-14s.
I should probably watch. I've gotten away from watching sports on TV, to be honest with you.
Kisner lines one out to left field. That's going to drop in front of DJ Stewart, who's into the game. So back-to-back singles here for the Cardinals in the 7th. So if I said to you, who's your pick to win the tournament?
I wouldn't have no pick for you.
No.
It would be just a flip a coin, I guess.
I must say, I've gotten very, as a Syracuse grad, we just changed coaches. Jim Boeheim after 47 years, right? That was huge news. And Red Autry, the new coach at Syracuse, but with 2 girls in college, we've gotten to rooting for our girls' schools.
Of course.
One at University of Miami, one at UCLA.
Oh, a Bruin.
A Bruin, big time.
Southern California.
Big time. She never misses a game. She sleeps out for the games if she needs to.
You've been on the UCLA campus?
Oh, we spend a lot of time out there.
Is that a beautiful campus?
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Yes. It's very hard to get into that school these days. Well, it always has been, but it's even gotten harder. You know what's the most applied to school in the nation?
No.
Yes.
UCLA?
UCLA, the most applied to. And as you said, you've been on the campus, you know why. It's a great mix of great academics, great sports.
Like anything else, when you're out of state, too, it's much more difficult.
Tough. I will tell you that the head basketball coach there, Mick Cronin, who I've known for years, was at Cincinnati and has really turned that program at UCLA. And that one has sliced the opposite way. A base hit there for Kramer Robertson. That's going to chase in Moises Gomez as the Cardinals extend their lead to 3-1. That's 3 consecutive base hits off Nolan Clenny here in the 7th inning.
High slider hanging. That's his second hit to the opposite field.
So Victor Scott now with a runner down at third base. First pitch swinging, lofts one the opposite way. Long run, really good play there by Brett Beatty, who gets up, fires to the plate, and that one's offline. Kisner scores. Robertson goes all the way to third.
Boy, you get a sac fly out of that.
That's a sac fly and probably an error there on Beatty on the throw, which allowed
the advanced runner to go to third.
Correct.
Well, this ball's in foul territory, and that's very good heads-up base running right there.
So the Cardinals with 2 more here, extending their lead to 4-1 on the appeal. Jeremy Rivas is the batter here for the Cardinals.
That was the home plate umpire's call because the third base umpire had to run out and make sure that Beatty made the catch. You see the third base umpire right there.
So he waited. So the Cardinals with 2 in the 6th and then 2 more here in the 7th to extend their lead to 4-1. Back-to-back singles by Gomez, Kisner, and Robertson. And then the sac fly by Scott. But there was another example, not a great throw by Beatty, but quick to the baseball. That was a really nice play that he made to get to that ball in foul ground. Sun is finally out here at Clover Park. It rained earlier today. And there's a called third strike. So Clenny getting out of more trouble with that run down at third. It's 4-1 Cardinals. Well, the crew's going to have the latest on the Jets quarterback situation, plus discuss the other primary needs on offense. On Jets Nation, free agency special presented by Visa, Thursday at 7, only right here on SNY. And it is worth noting here that Aaron Rodgers told Pat McAfee on the Pat McAfee show that he wants to play for the New York Jets.
It'll be very interesting. It'll be very strange to see. There's the numbers for Helsley. Be very weird to see not in a Green Bay uniform.
I always think it's such a roll of the dice when you have one of these veteran quarterbacks. We saw, you were mentioning during the break, Joe Namath went to the Rams, right? Late in his career. We saw Brett Favre. Oftentimes it does not turn out like you hope it's going to turn out. But hopefully with the Jets, if they do get this deal done with Aaron Rodgers, it will provide them the veteran quarterback and leadership that they are looking for.
Well, you got Tom Brady on the flip side. Got a world championship in Tampa.
Yes. Michael Perez is the batter here for the Mets in the bottom of the 7th, and he looks at a called strike 3 from Helsley.
Oh, good slider right there, down and in.
Helsley's 28 years old. It was an all-star season ago, voted as one of the 2 relief pitchers. Held opposing hitters a season ago to a 201 batting average, which was a new single-season record for Cardinal relievers. Ronnie Mauricio 1 for 2 with a single in the 3rd.
Oh, the umpire, home plate umpire, Jeremy Riggs is a lefty. Go, got him in the forearm.
Yikes. Ouch. Well, Jeremy Rebus, the new shortstop for the Cardinals. Justin Turner out there in center field now, and Pedro Bejas, the new catcher. And Mauricio waves at strike number 3.
Helsley, you're seeing right now why he is one of the top relievers here. That just wicked little slider.
Daniel Vogelback off the bench, getting his first at bat of the afternoon. He's pretty much penciled in as the everyday DH from the left side.
Well, he's going to have some situations like this where he's going to come off cold on the bench and have to pinch hit. Even though you got a DH, but you can always flip-flop the DHs.
Vogelback has such a good eye at the plate. Always has throughout the course of his career. Lays off that pitch. And it's 2-1.
Well, he's been basically a guy that has hit off righties only. And that's going to be his call, his situation here with the Mets. He is going to be the DH against right-handers.
61 of his 67 career home runs have come against right-handed pitching. Laced just foul. Can you get that through to the fan? Yes, you can. Nicely done. The crowds have been really good here in Port St. Lucie, Clover Park here in the spring. A lot of excitement around this New York Mets team. 101 wins season ago. And Vogelbach cannot hold up. Goes down 3 straight strikeouts. Helsley is nasty. SNY Play Ball back looking to support local youth baseball and softball leagues. If you know a league in need, apply today at sny.tv/playball. So we go to the 8th inning here at Clover Park, and T.J. McFarland is the new pitcher for the New York Mets. McFarland trying to find a spot in that bullpen this year as a second lefty.
You can see right now his delivery is kind of a slinger. Hard to pick up. kind of short arms it.
So Brooks Raley, who's dealt with some hamstring issues this spring, he's hoping to be back for opening day. He's the one lefty you can look at in that bullpen. Came over from Tampa. And Turner goes down on strike, so a good start here for McFarland. And Robertson is a guy who can get lefties out as well from the right side. The question is there a place for McFarland? Do you think there needs to be a second lefty in that bullpen?
I always like a second left-hander, and it's just when you got 8 relievers, I just think it's how do you not have a second left-hander? I know the Mets over the years have always been a team that kind of has always not had 2 left-handers. Buck's quite happy with the right-handers. They're called crossover, I guess, today. That's
correct.
But still, there are left-handers that have trouble with left-handers. And it's good to have that second left-hander early in the game, whereas opposed, if you got one, it kind of hamstrings the manager. You know, do I, middle of the game, do I bring him in and I don't have a left-hander for late in the game? You know, it just, when you have 2, I think it makes things a lot better, a lot easier.
Well, it becomes a bit of a numbers game. Who's going to be? We know the 5 who are pretty much locked in at the top of the bullpen, and that's Edwin Diaz, Robertson, Drew Smith. That one bounced down to third. That's Beatty. And that's the second out. As I mentioned, Raley and Ottavino, those are pretty much your 5.
And yeah, right. And,
right.
You know, you've like I said, you know, yesterday is that McGill and Peterson can, you know, conceivably both go north. Particularly with Quintana hurt, one is definitely going north.
Right.
But you know, Peterson pitched well. Nice play at first. Peterson pitched well out of the bullpen as well as starting. So we'll see.
That's a 1-2-3 inning for T.J. McFarland. Well, coming up tonight on Honda Sports Night, more on the Aaron Rodgers potentially coming to the Jets. The latest on NFL free agency, and as I mentioned a short time ago, as Keith and I were talking about, NCAA tournament getting set to kick into full gear. Look at that! Look at that guy or gal.
Lurking.
Didn't we have a discussion last year, Gator versus Crocodile?
Yes, we did.
Right?
Yes.
So Jordan Hicks is the new pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Well, he's a hard thrower. He throws 100 miles an hour. He's had some injuries over his career. You see, the walks have always been an issue with him, but he can bring it up there.
Lorenzo Cedrola leading things off here for the Mets in the bottom of the 8th inning. They jumped out to that 1-0 lead on the home run by Tomas Nido, but the Cardinals have scored 4 unanswered to take the lead. When you look at the numbers on Jordan Hicks, he's thrown just under 3,000 major league pitches, and 40% of them, over 1,200, that one goes foul, have been over 100 miles an hour.
He's got a great arm, and he's also got sink action on a fastball. You wouldn't think with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball that you'd get any kind of sink out of it, but he does have a sinker.
Count is even at 2-2.
Big Jet.
147 games for Jordan Hicks. Just under 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. The count is full here on Cedrola, and that one is just wide. And so the Mets have a base runner to get things going here in the bottom of the 8th.
Number 22, third baseman, Brett Beatty.
Brett Beatty, his second at bat of the afternoon. He walked in the 6th inning. He replaced Vientos down at third base. Used to be amazed at, you know, when Jacob deGrom was throwing that fastball over 100 miles per hour, the off-speed stuff was still, you know, 90, 92, 93.
Right.
Same thing with Hicks.
Yes.
He's got that changeup at 92. He's got the sinker at 99.
Well, there's a set difference. If your changeup is based on the velocity of your fastball, and there's X amount of miles per hour that you take off that pitch to have it most effective. You can have a changeup you take too much off of, and the hitter can adjust. And Andy Messersmith was the greatest changeup I ever faced with the Dodgers and the Braves and California Angels, going way back.
That one's a broken bat single into center field by Brett Baty, and so his hot spring does continue.
Got jammed a little bit there, but a little bit of an inside out and muscles it out over the shortstop's head. That's good hitting on a guy that's throwing hard. There's Andy. He went to the University of California. He was a phenomenal pitcher. Not a big guy, and he had a great changeup. Great competitor.
Golden Bear?
Yes, he was. He was one of the guys that held out too, and played on, I think, the same year with the same salary. And the Dodgers threw him over 300 innings that Cy Young, when he finished second in the Cy Young. And then they traded him, strike three on the inside corner, or not, strike two. Then they traded him to the last place Braves. And he, after that 300+ innings season, he was never really quite the same. But boy, oh boy, was he something else.
DJ Stewart does go down swinging this time. That's the first out here in the bottom of the eighth.
Number 11, first baseman, Brett Brown.
Little sinking changeup right there. Might have been a splitter.
So 101 the fastball, and then 87. 14 miles per hour difference. That'll get a hitter out in front. I don't think there's any question the Cardinals have the offensive firepower to be a major contender in the National League. Certainly the favorite to win, as we talked about in the open. That one's grounded down to third. This could be two, and it is. So the Mets with a walk and a single, but they come up empty as we go to the ninth. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by CDW. By Nissan. Catch these offers while you can at the Nissan Thrill of the Drive sales event. Shop NissanUSA.com. By NYU Langone Health, the #1 hospital in New York. And by Westbury Toyota, the buck stops at the Westbury Toyota Superstore, #1 in the Tri-State. We go to the ninth inning here at Clover Park. First pitch from Drew Smith. It's hit a mile high out into right field, and that is where Davis makes the catch. One pitch, one out.
There's Drew Smith last year. Had himself a good year. Got sidelined a bit with some arm issues, but all in all had a good year. What hurt him last year was the home runs allowed. He gave up 9 in 46 innings, but I've always liked him. He's got a good arm. He comes after hitters. He's not afraid.
Well, he's in great shape here in spring training. He lost about a dozen pounds.
Yep.
Really worked on his diet during the offseason. Buck Showalter likes Drew Smith a lot. That's in there for a called strike. Moises Gomez, 1 for 3. Lines one foul. Story of the day for the Mets, without question, the start of Justin Verlander. 5 innings, a hit, no runs. He struck out 8, didn't walk anybody. 71 pitches, 51 of those for strikes. He was awfully efficient and awfully impressive in his 3rd start of the spring.
Looked in mid-season form.
He did take a line drive in the leg off the bat of Alec Burleson in the 2nd inning, which caused a moment or two of consternation, but he returned to the mound and appeared to be okay. Here's the 2-2. Good pitch there by Drew Smith, and that is the 2nd out.
Boy, good over-the-top curveball right there. 12-6. Just stayed inside and tied him up.
Wow. Boy, he had Gomez fooled big time. So 2 up and 2 down for Smith here in the 9th. Pedro Pajes, who came in to catch. TJ McFarland gave the Mets a good inning in the 8th inning. Well, officially 2 weeks from tomorrow, the Mets open the regular season down in Miami against the Marlins. There's another really good one from Drew Smith. Back-to-back strikeouts for Smith here in the 9th. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Well, Justin Verlander making his 3rd start of the spring for the Mets, and he was brilliant through 5 innings.
It looked like he's like in the middle of the year for him. It was very sharp on all of his pitches. 5 innings, 1 hit, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Had everything working for him. His crispness of his breaking balls, that slider and the curve, had a good changeup. His location was where it should be. Just really, really an impressive start.
So Nick Meyer leads things off for the Mets here in the bottom of the 9th inning. They trailed the Cardinals 4-1. Chris Stratton on the mound now for the Cardinals. He is their 6th pitcher of the day. Stratton, 32 years old, acquired from the Pirates along with Jose Quintana at the trade deadline season ago. That one catches the outside corner. There's a nugget here on Chris Stratton, the only active pitcher in Major League Baseball, 55th all-time, 10 wins, while working as both a starting pitcher and reliever in the same season, which is what he did last year. We were commenting, this is a pretty good Cardinals bullpen.
Well, they're a solid ball club. They won 93 ball games last year. You know, they got knocked out in the playoffs by the Phillies, who knocked everybody out until they ran into Houston.
Right. You know, with the expanded playoffs, I'm not sure it's a team that gets hot in the postseason that wins. But last year, I think the best team in baseball won the World Series.
Oh, no
I thought
doubt.
the Astros were the best team all season long,
Yes.
and they ended up winning the World Series. Meyer looks at a called 3rd strike. That's the 1st out here in the bottom of the 9th. So the Cardinals won 93 games season ago. It's not a great division. The Cubs have gotten better. They made some good moves.
Right.
They went out and got Swanson, the free agent shortstop.
Well, you had 2 teams that lost 100 ball games in that division. And the Cubs, as you said, are improved. And I'm not so sure about the Brewers. I think Brewers are kind of a funny team.
Well, it's never good when you've got your ace pitcher mad at the organization.
Yep. They argued, went to arbitration, and they went to arbitration. The difference was $75,000. The team won. And evidently in the arbitration, they claimed that Corbin Burns was one of the main reasons why they didn't get in the playoffs,
right.
which didn't sit well with Corbin, and I can't blame him. That arbitration can be very cold.
Well, Todd Zeal told me the story so many times that he was in a nasty arbitration with the Cardinals, and he's sitting there. They're just beating him down. And then when it was over, the opposing counsel, said, "Hey, can I get your autograph for my son?" Right?
Like,
as Jalen Davis goes down for the second out. Back-to-back strikeouts here by Chris Stratton. You're not good. You're terrible. We're not going to give you the money you want. Now, can I get your autograph for my son?
He thinks you're great. And I think I'm a fan, too. Business is business.
By the way, this is it for you this spring.
I'm done.
Your last game. Todd's going to be with me on Friday.
Yep. I'll be flying home tomorrow, Friday, with Haji, getting Haji all squared away. We open up on the road. As you know, we got 4 in Miami and then 3 in Milwaukee before Mets come home.
Bouncer to the right side. This should do it. Taken over there by Burleson, and the Cardinals get the win here this afternoon at Clover Park by a final of 4-1. Good job here by the Cardinals bullpen, but I do go back to the fact that the key to today for the Mets was Justin Verlander, and he came through with flying colors.
I agree. And Nito continues his hot hitting in spring, an opposite field home run, his 3rd. But the story today is Verlander. 5 solid innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts. He just looked really, really sharp.
That's our game summary presented by CDW. We're back here on SNY on Friday. Mets going to take on the Miami Marlins. Our pregame coverage getting underway 6 o'clock, and then first pitch right after that, just past 6 o'clock. And so for Keith Hernandez and Michelle Margot and our entire SNY crew, I'm Gary Apple. We thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here on Friday. So long.